Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's. This isn't gonna work. Sure. When I do 10 minutes of handicap jokes, I'm the asshole, right? I'm the asshole, right? Hi, guys. Hi, audience.
Hi.
7 people who have never been bar mitzvahed, right? I'm guessing. That guy I was a little unsure about. You're passing. Where am I? What town is this? Where are we at?
Grayslake.
I don't know. It was very dark driving over. It's like I felt like I'm the Jewish guy. It felt like the opening scene in the movie Mississippi Burning. That's what I felt like. I was just waiting to get pulled over. Scary. You know what's scary? That fucking thing is scary. I know it says Jägermeister, but I'm pretty sure that's the same stamp that was on like my grandparents' deportation papers. You know? Hey, I'm just sharing what I'm feeling. I'm excited. Who's excited to be out watching comedy? Exciting on Thursday in. I don't know where we are. Grayslake. My Google Maps kept like rerouting me. I had to keep resetting it. It was crazy. It didn't want me to get here, I guess. I'm excited. I'm excited for a few things. I'm excited just to say I'm excited. I know that sounds really weird. I'm just like perplexed by this. You're sporting the mohawk. Is this just a nighttime thing?
No, it's a year-round thing.
Really? What do you do for a living?
A graphic designer.
All right, cool. Hey, so am I.
Nice.
Hey, cool. But I meet people. So I have meetings. I wouldn't show up to a meeting like that.
I get yelled at if I don't.
I wouldn't show up at a meeting like that. I mean, just with the red pants. That's what I mean. The mohawk is fine. You can comb that thing down if you have to. I didn't know people were doing mohawks anymore. How old are you?
28.
28. Okay. Wow. Okay. It reminds me of the 70s and the 80s. You guys remember the 70s and the 80s and the mohawk, right? Is it a real one? Are you just, is it gone full cycle or now it's just an ironic mohawk? Or are you really sporting this thing like you're really thrashing it and
I'm
looking for a mosh pit? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, you're committed. All right, cool. All right, this is weird. This is a weird space. I was just looking around and I'm like, this is like the room where they filmed the scene where they shot Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. He walked in and he was just like, and then bam, right? It happened right there. The basement. All right, should we tell some jokes? I'll tell some jokes. I'm just sort of working some things out. I'm excited. I'm excited for a few things. We'll go through a couple of those things. I'm excited just to say I'm excited. Just to give a little context. When I was in middle school and I was going through sex ed, the gym teacher, he took all the boys into a classroom, which I know sounds really creepy now, and it was creepy in the 70s too, but it was way more permissive back, like people didn't sweat that stuff back then. Like if I came home in like 1978 and said, oh, the gym teacher took all the boys into a classroom, my parents would just be like, did you at least get a C? That's it. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. Took all the boys into a classroom, and he's just going through the mechanics of sex. And he says, well, when a man gets excited, he gets an erection, and so on and so forth. So the guy, he should have said aroused. He should have said aroused, but he said excited. So from that day forward, for like 10 years, every time I was out with my parents, and they'd be like, hey, Larry, are you excited? I'd be like, no, I'm not excited. I'm not a fucking weirdo. Visiting grandma in the nursing home. I'm not a freak. That's a pretty funny joke. I'm very proud of that joke. The funniest part of that joke is that there's not one word about that bit that's not 100% true. It is 100. That is exactly what happened for like 10 years of my life. And the people I feel the worst about for that whole scenario were my parents, my poor parents. For like, in my formative years, they just must have been like, what's wrong with Larry? He's never excited about anything. He never admits it. And he refuses to play with his erector set. What's wrong with that? I dig an audience that knows what an erector set is. You kids, look it up. What app is that? What app is that? Wouldn't play with my erector set. They were always confused. And I always had a boner. That was really weird. Didn't know what that was about. What else am I excited about? I went to a high school reunion not too long ago, and I couldn't do what everyone does. They go to a high school reunion, and they say, oh, I went to my reunion. I picked up right where I left off with everybody. Like, I can't pick up right where I left off because I no longer sell pot. That's true. That's 100% true, too. And you know who hates that joke? My mother. My mother hates that joke. She hates any jokes, bits, stories about my days when I used to sell drugs. She just hates that more than anything. You know what she didn't hate? Not having to pay for my college. She didn't hate that. She got real permissive, even back in the 80s. I think my mother would have been perfectly. I think she would have been okay with me doing a little time over that, as long as she didn't have to miss a trip to Vegas. I think she would have been perfectly fine. I know what she was going for. I know she was just kind of protecting me from my father. You know, didn't want my father to find out that I was like in the world of selling drugs. And I don't know if she really understood him though, because I think on the one hand he'd be like furiously angry that I was involved in drugs, right? But on the other hand, like super proud that I wasn't paying retail. I think he'd be very happy. Because we're Jews. You can laugh at that because we're Jews. That's, I like to laugh. I'm from Highland Park. I get a whole different laugh from that. I'm a Jew. It's hard being a Jewish person these days because of all of the hate that's just public now. There's public hate. We all know the hate. I know it seems like a year ago, but like 4 or 5 months ago, there were just like white supremacists and Nazis just like marching in the street. I don't know if any of you were there, but there were a lot of that was happening. It was weird. Hey, if you're gonna be in the street, I can make jokes about it. It was a weird thing going on there. There was like, remember what they were? I should be looking at the camera at least a little bit. Damn it! Video team. Why weren't you guys sitting over there? There were Nazis marching in the street, and I don't know. I'm going to be brave here. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a Jewish person. I don't care for Nazis. Not at all. Neo or classic. I don't care for either flavor. Not a fan. Not a fan. They're marching in the street and they're yelling. They're protesting. Jews will not replace us. That's what they're ugly thing to say. Like, I'm not going to replace any of those people because I don't want to live in a trailer. It has nothing to do with ideology. It's like minimum standard of living. I was getting so incensed by all that marching and that protesting. I just looked at my wife and I was just like, if these guys want to get all anti-Semitic about all this, then us Jews should raise their interest rates. That old guy's laughing a little too hard at that. Someone had a fight for that mortgage 25 years ago. I know what you said when you got home, damn it. Where was I? I don't even know. I have like a minute left. I got totally off track. I was selling drugs. That's right. My mother didn't like that, and I don't know. She was protecting me from my father, and I totally think though I could have won my dad over with that whole concept because he was a business owner his entire life. I think I could have just explained to him. It's like, well, you don't want to buy drugs as you use it because that's like a losing game. What you do is instead of buying grams and eighths and stuff like that, you buy it in pounds and then you divide it up into ounces. You know this, right? And you divide it up into ounces and then you sell that and then you just do that over and over and over again until you buy a nicer car than your father. I think he would have totally got that. All right, I'll end on this. I might be over time, but I need to close this up. I need to come full circle here. So, I was mentioning my dad. My dad, he died like 4.5 years ago, which is still kind of an open wound, as it tends to be. He and I weren't really close. We didn't do a lot of father and son things. Like, my father never taught me how to shave, which is pretty sad. Right? But he taught my sister how to shave, which is fucking disgusting. It is disgusting. He and I weren't close. We didn't do father and son things. And I didn't really think about him a lot when he was alive. I kind of took advantage of the fact he was around. Since he died, though, I think about my father every day when I'm in the backyard picking up my dog's shit. I know. No one should. Some people should. If everybody in the room laughed at that, this would be a horrible room. Because that's kind of a horrible concept. Let me just explain, and then I'll get out of here. think about my dad every day when I'm picking up shit because my entire life my father relentlessly told this story about how when I was a baby, he stepped in my shit. And now it kind of sounds like an adorable father and son story, right? It's kind of adorable until you wonder why they made me shit in the yard. Why did they do that? They did not make me do that in the winter. They weren't animals. They weren't monsters. All right, everybody. Let's hear it for, I don't know who's coming up. Sean and or Lindsay. Let's hear it for them. And their show.